Okay. Alrighty. Okay, got brand new computers here at Weber High School. Still getting this sucker figured out. Luckily, everything's saved over. I was able to save everything to my Google Drive. I've got a new camera here. Okay. Man, the resolution's beautiful on this thing. Look at that. So much better. Much better camera. Okay, all right. So, hey, you guys, welcome. Hello. We are into the respiratory system today. So, I'm sorry I had to cancel class last week. I'm sure you guys were all sad about that one. They had a concurrent enrollment training at Weber State, so I had to run up there to that meeting. Alrighty, so we're respiratory system. I've got a couple of things I just wanted to show you guys. Some demonstrations that I did with my students that I thought would be cool for you guys to watch. So back behind me here. Oh, I've got another thing that I need to grab. Hold up. Sorry, guys. Okay, this thing is fun. These things are fun. So basically today's just show and tell. Show you guys some of the neat stuff that I've got. Okay. Alrighty. First up, let's see. Let's show you guys this one first up. Alrighty. So if you guys would put your hands on your stomach area, your abdominal area, and take a big deep breath in. All right. So raise your hand if your belly went out when you did that. Raise your hand if your belly went in when you did that. Okay, so basically what's happening is the process of breathing in. So trained singers will want to have their abdomen stick out. So take a big deep breath in again and poke your stomach out as far as you can. So that is known as abdominal breathing. So trained singers will practice that. And if you poke your belly out while you guys are breathing in, it allows for your diaphragm to, women when they're pregnant, they'll have, shortness of breath, that kind of thing, because the baby's like pushed up against their lungs and their diaphragm. So this model that I've got here, this membrane down on the bottom represents your diaphragm. And you can see the two red balloons in there. There's a little stopper here with a little hole in here. This is representing your thoracic cavity. So when you guys inhale, I pull this diaphragm down. The pressure, so there's a pressure difference. So actually, let me show you guys this first off, and then I'll show you that. Here's a shirt that I have had forever and ever and ever. My t-shirt says, "Science never sucks." Air pressure, Journal of Atmospheric Phenomena. It can push, it can pull, but it will never ever suck. Nope, nuh-uh, physically impossible. Ma nature won't let it happen. No siree, no way. Succus impossibilis. So you don't suck air into your lungs. It's impossible to suck air into your lungs. It's succus impossibilis. So basically what happens is as I pull down on this knob, that's representing my diaphragm. And when you guys breathe in, your diaphragm goes down. Diaphragm will go down. That increases the volume within your lungs, which there's a law called Boyle's law. He's a famous physicist. And they found that if you increase the volume, the pressure on the inside is decreased. And so the atmospheric pressure is greater than your alveolar pressure. Your alveolar are the small little air sacs in your lungs. And that will force the air in. So pressure will move from where it's highest into the lowest. Then when you relax and your diaphragm goes back up again, you see the little balloons there. So inhalation, exhalation. So it's a difference in the pressure. It's not like you're sucking air into your lungs and then the alveoli are getting bigger. You're expanding that. So your rib cage, your intercostal muscles, your rectus abdominis, even your sternocleidomastoid, all that kind of stuff, those muscles will help increase the volume, which decreases the pressure inside your lungs. So the air is forced in. So succus impossibilis. So I've seen some pictures like on a final test where they have this model. You guys will be taking the same state test that my students in person take. It's a state test that's written by the State Office of Education for any CTE class. You can see inhalation and exhalation. So when you inhale, diaphragm will go down. Exhalation, diaphragm will go up. It changes the pressure inside your lungs. All right, so that's the first fun little thing. Second thing that I've got in this box here are some dried lungs. Oh no, oh good. Oh, today's not a good day. Could you get those lights? My lights are set on a timer and we don't have students in here, it automatically turns off. So these are dried up lungs. So they took some cow lungs. Actually, these aren't cow, these are pig lungs. And hooked it up to a ventilator system and then they dried it. So if you guys can't really see that too well, but anyway, with it being in the baggie, your lungs have different lobes to them. Our right lung has our right lung has 3 lobes, left lung has 2 because of the position of your heart. So there's that set of lungs that's kind of cool. And then we've got this one. And they're super duper light. So your lungs don't have any muscles in there. They're mainly just small little air sacs known as alveoli. And we have about 500 million alveoli per lung. So one of the statistics that's interesting is they say if you were to take your alveoli and spread them out, that it would cover the size of a tennis court. So it's all about surface area. It's all about allowing for the diffusion of gases to go on. So as we inhale oxygen, as we exhale carbon dioxide, we're going to take that oxygen and drop it off to our muscle cells. And then your muscle cells will use that oxygen along with glucose to create carbon dioxide, which is a waste product, of course, and then also making ATP, so you guys can, of course, get your energy. So that's kind of fun. And then we've got this one here. That's just a little sliver of a lung. It looks like a loaf of bread. You can see the small little holes in here. Those are going to be the bronchioles. And then if I squeeze it, if you guys were here in person, you'd be able to squeeze this. But it's kind of like the consistency of sponge cake. If you guys have ever had like strawberry shortcake and that shortcake consistency, all of those little teeny alveoli. So again, super duper light. So those are some fun things that I showed my students. The other thing that I showed them is I've got this jar that has this, it looks like sand in here. It's actually not sand, it's actually dust from a volcano, so it's volcanic ash. And there's a really fun word that I was teaching my students. Does anybody happen to know the longest word in the English language? Let me write it down for you guys. Oops, hold on. And of course I misspell it the first. Okay, I wrote this on my board. Oh, geez, I'm not even able to fit it on this whole sheet. Pneumono ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. Pneumono ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. So if you say that really fast, that's the longest word in the English language. Now, if you break that word up, pneumo means lungs, lung, ultramicroscopic. That means really, really small. Whoops, ultramicroscopic. Silico, dealing with glass-like. Volcano, meaning eruption, so coming from a volcano. And then when you have osis at the end of a word, that means a condition or presence of. So basically, pneumo-ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis means that by a volcano, when it erupts, And if you guys had a chance to be here in person, you would look at this stuff under the microscope. But if you were to look at volcanic ash under the microscope, let me just draw kind of it almost looks like when you take a glass plate and you drop it on the floor and you get these really sharp shards. You're gonna have, it's almost like there's little razor blades inside this volcanic ash. And so as you breathe that in, it starts to rip apart and slice apart your small little individual alveoli. Those alveoli are very, very thin, and they're super thin so you can have gases diffuse. But the problem is they are so delicate. So smoking cigarettes, pollution, and then of course breathing in volcanic ash can greatly affect those alveoli. So that's the other little thing. So there's a little thing for you guys to memorize, the longest word in the English language, pneumo-ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. Alrighty, the other thing, today's just a lot of show and tell, you guys. Alrighty, the other thing that I've got here is what they call a spirometer. So spirometers, they hook people up to spirometers if they want to measure their lung volumes. So in my class, we did a lung volume lab where we saw who had the best set of lungs. So the different lung parameters, they want you guys to know some of these terms. Vital capacity, it's basically how much you guys are breathing in and out at rest. And then vital capacity, that's basically how much air can you exhale, excuse me, after you take your deepest inhalation. So there's another piece of equipment also that they can use, or another parameter that they measure. So if you've had any lung issues, they'll hook you up to a spirometer. They've got it at the hospital where they've got it hooked onto a computer. So I've got these little small spirometers. These basically measure inspiratory reserve volume. And so a gal's inspiratory reserve volume should be 1900. So basically I have my students inhale onto that, and you can see that I was able to get a little bit higher than the average female. I'm tall, I'm 5'8", so height has a lot to do with your lung capacities. Average guy should be up here just past 3,000. So I have some of my students come and they inhale into these, kind of measuring those lung capacities. The other piece of equipment that they sometimes will give people if they have lung issues is this thing right here. It's an incentivizer to. There's like a little rotator clip in there that will flip around, and it helps to really get the stuff out of your lungs. Now, another thing that we do in my class, and you guys might want to try this, is exercising your lungs. So you take a big deep breath in, and then you're going to exhale. And exhale. And exhale. And exhale. And you continue to blow out as much as you can. And then your next inhalation, the next time you inspire after that, it should kind of hurt a little bit. So when I tell you guys, and tell my students today, if we've got a lot of pollution in our air, especially during the winter time, when it hasn't snowed or rained or something for a while, the pollution gets really, really thick. Exercise your lungs, okay? A deep inhalation and then blow out as hard as you can. Try to do that a few times a day. That'll help get those contaminants out of your lungs. But this machine, I asked my daughter if she would come do this for us. So on this spirometer, come, please do this, hon. Let's have you go on that other side. Alrighty, so on the spirometer, she's going to put on these cute little nose plugs. See my cute daughter right there. Alrighty. She's a junior here at Weber. Good old 17. You 17 yet? Holy cow. You're almost 18. Alrighty. Okay, so she's going to inhale and then blow out as hard as you can. So basically what this is they call it a wet spirometer. It's a basin full of water. And then there's this tub that helps, an inverted tub and then just have you breathe in and out normal. So what you can do with this machine, and again, at the hospital, they can hook people up to a spirometer and they can get these different readings. This is tidal volume. It's measuring the tidal volume. So she's just breathing in and out at rest. So you guys can't see these intervals here, but it's going from like 1.4 to 4. So if nobody else was in here and she was just chilling and relaxed, that would be the tidal volume, which should be about 500 milliliters. So just so you guys can get a visual on that. So here's the 500 milliliter mark right there. So from there to there is 500 milliliters. So that's how much air you're bringing in and out of your lungs at rest. So there's all sorts of different machines there's all different sorts of machines that can read your lung capacities. On the lab, we had the tallest guy that came up here, and he maxed it out at 6. This maxes out at 6,000 milliliters. And I've only had a few students over the years that have been able to max out this machine. One year it was kind of fun. I picked the tallest boy and the shortest boy to come up. Tallest boy, he blew out as hard as he could, and he only got it to like 5,000. And then the shortest boy, he gets up there, and I fully expected it to only be like 3 or 4, because your lung capacities, a lot of that deals with, how broad your chest is. If you're diaphragmatic breathing versus abdominal breathing. So if you're really pushing your gut out as you guys breathe in, guys tend to have a lot larger lung capacities than girls. It's proven. So anyway, so the shortest boy, he gets hooked up to the machine and he maxes it out. And I was like, what? Try it again. Maxed it out again. And the tallest kid, he's like, what? No way, I couldn't even max it out. And then I was like, okay, are you a swimmer? Nope. Are you a singer? Nope. He said, I'm in the band. And the tuba, he played the tuba. That was his instrument. So I'm like, yeah, you're big time working your lungs. So those are some fun things. All right. And then the other really cool thing that I've got for you guys, move that over. And this demonstration that I show my students. I need to, oh geez, I don't know if this is going to work. I should have got the camera all set up before. Oh, this might work actually. Okay, we've got these lungs, and it's supposed to depict lungs if you, a smoker's lung, basically. So, tell my daughter how to do this. Oh shoot, this is backwards. Alrighty. Okay. So let me go grab a pair of gloves. Elise, can you help out one? Let's see, mediums. Alrighty. Okay, throw all those gloves, because you're gonna have to hold these up. Because I've had these lungs for a couple of years. These are swine lungs. And it's what they did with one of the pigs is they infected it with tar and nicotine and I was reading to my class about the dangers of cigarette smoke and all of the crap that they put in the cigarette smoke. There's like 40 known carcinogens in cigarette smoke. So we've got this set of lungs here, and they've been soaking in glycerin. We can hook this up here. I'm going to have you do the other one, okay? And then we're going to inflate them. And if you guys were here in person, you'd be able to squeeze these, but I think you'll be able to get a sense for what this looks like. So, this other one. Right. So I'm going to grab here. Careful not to, I should have had you wear an apron, I'm sorry. Just be careful not to get it on your clothes. Roll up your sleeves, huh? Yeah, there you go. That's ingenious. Okay. take this, put it up here. Sorry, she didn't practice this. She's just on the fly. Yeah, the rubber bands just don't work anymore. Okay, so get it up in there. It's not going too high. Okay, come on, baby. This is easier. Oh, geez, go on. All right, you're just going up in there?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can clamp this. Okay, now hold on to it and then move out of their way. All right, and then we can inflate. You see that? Let's bump it closer. Closer, closer, closer. Closer, closer, closer. Okay, boom, right there. So we can don't. All right, so we can inflate these. And you can see, now you can see on this, you can see like the different lobes, like here's the superior, inferior, they call these things fissures. You can see if I continue to pump that, what inflated lungs look like. Now I also had a set of fresh lungs that I blew up for my students, but I put those back in the fridge. They were able to come up and feel and squeeze. You can see how I'm squeezing that. Now over here on this one that's discolored, it's got all this tar in there, and then there's big lumps in there. If you look at that left lung there, whoa, losing it. Come on, baby. Okay. But if you look at that one, only one of the lungs is inflating because of the nodule, because of the lung cancer in there. And then you can kind of see, I don't know if you guys can see that, there's this membrane that surrounds around your lungs called the pleura. And when people have pleurisy, it's an infection in their lungs, where they get less fluid in there. It's supposed to help with reducing friction. So anyway, that's showing you guys. You can pull that off that one. Thank you. So we've got, it's going to drip all over everything, but you can kind of see, this is going to drip. I will just chance it. I can wipe up the drips. So you can see the trachea here. The trachea has rings of cartilage, so a ring and then membrane, ring and then membrane, ring and then membrane. We have about 16 to 20 of these rings. And then you can see how it's branching off into two branches. Those are known as the bronchi. And then it continues to branch off even more into what they call the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary bronchioles. And then eventually down into your alveoli. So that one is showing the dangers of cigarette smoke. Alrighty, okay. Proper technique to pull off gloves. We're going to wind this up, put that in that hand, and now I'm pulling this other one off, and now that's all perfect. Anyway, okay. So those are some of the fun demos in this. Spill, don't spill, don't spill. Woo, success. All right. Okay. Oh, and I was going to share with you guys, hello. Sorry, one last thing is the brochure that comes along with this. Oh, where did I lose it? I thought it was on that tray. Sorry, you guys. Here it is. Alrighty. So this demonstration kit, this lung demonstration kit has this booklet that came along with it. And it's got some pretty scary statistics in here dealing with, so here's the little kit thing here. And let me just read one part here that I read to my students. It says tobacco smoke. So tobacco smoke is a very complex mixture containing 4,000 substances. Of these 43 are known carcinogens and 40 are toxic compounds that can damage the lungs as well as other organs. Some of the most hazardous compounds are tar, nicotine, carbon monoxide, cadmium, nitrogen dioxide, ammonia, benzopyrene, hydrogen sulfide, etc., etc., etc. Cigarette smoking has high health risks, including shortened lifespan, cancers of the lung, mouth, larynx, esophagus, bladder, and pancreas, hardening of your arteries, coronary heart disease, emphysema, chronic bronchitis, gum disease with bone and tooth loss, and premature aging of your skin. So scary stuff. So you don't want to start smoking. Those don't sound very good at all. Alrighty. Anyway, there's a bunch of other information on here that if we had time, I would share it with you guys. But anyway, so we're out of time. It's 3:30. Questions or comments on any of the stuff that I've shown you guys today?
Other than pretty fascinating, nothing else.
Thanks. All right, so you guys are going to be taking your respiratory assessment. I think I've got a due date set on Monday for you guys. So I think there's a video for y'all to watch, a crash course video, and then get that assessment taken care of. Okay? All right, well, you guys have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
You too.
Okay, take care, see ya. Man, my face looks super red.